Hello, first graders. It's Mrs. Ponce back, and this is part 2 of planning for your personal narratives. So, in the first video, I explained how I filled out this graphic organizer, and I shared with you all that my story is going to be about the time that I took my mom's dog, Zoe, for a walk, and she took off running after another dog, and I tripped and fell and hurt myself trying to keep her from crossing the street and going after the other dog. So I explained how I wrote when, or I filled in the when section for the setting, because remember, setting is when and where a story takes place. So when, it happened on a cold day in November in the evening time. Where, it was a quiet sidewalk on the street near my house. And remember, we're using descriptive words so that we can really help the reader understand where exactly and when exactly this story took place. And then I did a quick visualization of the setting. Now remember, in this section, we're not writing our whole story. We're just getting our ideas down. We're just writing a few quick things, a few quick words or phrases. Now the characters, remember, a character in a story is who the story is about. So it was me, Mrs. Ponce, my mom's dog, Zoe, the neighbor, and the neighbor's dog. Now, I don't know the neighbor's name or the neighbor's dog's name, so I left those kind of general. And then the hook is how I'm capturing my reader's attention. And we are going to do another video on some ways that you can write a hook to your story. So for me, I put, "No, Zoe, stop." Okay. I just realized that I have to put the accent on her name. Now, the next part of this planning is really identifying what happened at the beginning, the middle, and end. Now, again, this is not where I'm going to write out my whole story. I'm just going to write out some ideas. Okay? So for the beginning part, we have who, when, where, what. So who, we already did on the other page. It was me, Mrs. Ponce. It was Zoe, my mom's dog. It was the neighbor. And it was the neighbor's dog. Okay, so I'm going to check off who, because I have who the story is about. When. Okay, I already identified when on the other page. It was a cold day in November, and it was the evening time. Okay. Notice how I'm not writing full sentences here. I'm just getting my ideas down. So I have when, where, it was a quiet sidewalk on the street near my house. And now I'm going to do the what. So I'm going to start with what happened at the beginning. Okay. So I'm going to use words like first. So first, put the collar and leash on Zoe. Then got a bag and my keys. then walked out the front door with Zoe. Okay. So this is kind of what happened at the beginning of my story. Now I'm going to think about what happened in the middle of my story. So I'm going to use words like next, after, then. The middle of your story is usually when the problem happened, okay, or the big event happened. So here we were talking about how the big event in my story is when Zoe saw the other dog and I tripped and fell. So that should happen in the middle of my story. So I might start off with next, walked down the street and around the block. Then saw another dog coming with his owner. Then told Zoe to sit and stay. Okay. Zoe pulled the leash and started barking. I tripped and fell. Okay. So again, here's the beginning. I'm going to talk about who, when, where, and what happened. And the what on this section is the beginning. So I put the collar and the leash on Zoe. I got my bag and my keys. I walked out the front door with Zoe the dog. My middle is the big part of the story that happened, the big problem. So I walked down the street and around the block. I saw another dog coming with his owner, told Zoe to sit and stay. Zoe pulled the leash. I tripped. She started barking. I tripped and I fell. Now, the ending is usually the last part of the story, and you want to include how you felt. So you can imagine how I probably felt after all of this happened. So finally, the dog passed us and Zoe stopped pulling and barking. We walked home. I was angry and upset. I was also in a lot of pain. So this is the last part. I included words like finally. You can include last, or you can say something like in the end. And then down here, I included how I was feeling. I was angry. I was upset, as you could imagine. I was also in a lot of pain because I fell on my wrist and Zoe was also dragging me. So I scraped my knee and the side of my arm. Now, boys and girls, you'll notice that I did not write down every single thing that happened. When I go to create my book, I'm going to take these ideas and I'm going to build them out and give you a little bit more detail and explain a little bit more how all of these things happened. Now, if you have some trouble writing down the words for your story, you can also just draw pictures here of what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, that's also another option. And if you don't have this graphic organizer, you can just create it on a piece of paper. You can just make 3 columns and write down what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end. Do not spend a lot of time on this. This is just to get your ideas down so that then you can write your story. All right. Well, we are looking forward to seeing what you guys are writing. I hope that you guys share your stories with us, either through you reading a video and sending it to your teachers, or by taking pictures and sending it to your teachers. I can't wait to see what you authors create, and I can't wait to see your illustrations, because you guys are probably some of the best authors and illustrators I have ever met. All right, boys and girls, can't wait to see what you have. Happy writing.